Hello, and welcome to Squad v Squad Week 8 of Gravity vs. Incantus. This is one of your hosts, Dark Reaper 1337, and also joining me today is the fantastic host, MG Savvybeard.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining. Thanks for coming into the stream. Good to be here.
It's always good to be co-casting alongside with you. Your skill and knowledge, it definitely is above mine.
That's I don't really feel like that's true, but I appreciate the compliment.
All good. So today, this is going to be Gravity versus Incantus, as I just mentioned. Kind of go through the ranking. It's going to be no restrictions on this one, so any player from each team can join up and play. Most likely we see anchors and fires on this. To kind of go through our ranking systems, we have anchors are highly consistent players, higher caliber. Our fires, kind of the medium, kind of inconsistent. They can have a really good game, they can have really bad games. And then our ghosts, kind of our lower end, lower consistent players. So this, for this series, it's going to be anyone goes. So on that list. For Gravity, we're going to see Dimetree and Kratex as their two anchors, and Bamadude and Canadian as their two fires. And on the other end, I see Toast is joining us today, as well as Dr. Grady as our two anchors for the blue team for Incantus, and GT Reaps and Noisy Boy for their fires. I believe GT Reaps is a sub since Dragon could not make it, so they probably got a lot of playing time around with him these last couple days. I don't know if is Draconic gonna be with us. Is he gonna be observing? I don't mind it. Always good to have another one.
I don't know what the word is, but it looks like we're gonna go into a multi-team game now. But yeah, looks like there's a couple people that just need a second before we start this game up. But hopefully we can get this started as soon as possible.
Okay, he will be leaving us today. Sorry, Draconic. Thank you for being a good sport and making yourself available in case you need to step in. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like we had somebody else leave the party for a moment, so as soon as they get back, we should be able to get this game started for everybody here. But I'm pretty excited for this series, as I am most series. I always start off by saying I'm excited because every series that we have here tends to be exciting. We had a really exciting series earlier on between Mythical Magnums and Interstellar, our two top dogs, during the Squad v Squad season. Interstellar did come out on top, but it was a really good series. There was a tie in the series, and it went to a Game 6. So looking to see a good, solid series from both of these teams. Maybe take it to a Game 5. We all love seeing Game 5s. Casting all the way to a Game 5 is always fun. It gets really intense, especially in that Game 5, and when it's a close Game 5 as well. It's always really fun.
I definitely agree. I would love to see a Game 5 as well. Both these teams have the capacity to bring it to a Game 5. There's a good assortment of game types and game maps throughout that kind of play to, I think, a little bit of each team. So we should see a lot of things going back and forth. Do want to give a shout out to Jordan43130 in the chat. Hello, welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy watching. It's going to be a great series. Both these teams have a lot of firepower to them. I feel like I say that thing every team we have in the Squad v Squad has firepower. But definitely, Toast has been doing a phenomenal series. He's done very well. Dr. Grady is a very highly competitive player. Kratex is very competitive. He's up there. Dimetree, definitely want to bring home a win for Gravity. He's always hyping things up and getting things going. It seems like there's some technical difficulties going for Dr. Grady. I swear I'm not touching anything. I'm just casting.
Yep, it does look like that. Let's take a second and talk about some of our early predictions for this matchup, for this series. I'm looking at these two teams right now, and I've got to say, I'm looking at Gravity to probably take this series. We're seeing, it does look like we're seeing a substitute coming from Incantus. That doesn't necessarily mean that they will lose the series by any means, but Gravity's coming off strong from last week with a 3-0 win against Mythical Magnums, and they're just looking pretty strong right now. I know all of them are individually looking stronger. They're looking stronger as a team. They've had a little time now to play together with some of their new members. So I'm definitely looking at Gravity to be on top of their game this series. I think as far as things that Incantus needs to do to make sure they pull off a win here is kind of shut down some of those higher caliber players on the Gravity side. It's kind of tough though because Gravity has a lot of good players. You have Bamadude up there, who's kind of he just cleans up the trash, does a lot of dirty work. You have Canadian Walrus, who can easily go off on slays. Good player there. Great 1v1 player for those 1v1 challenges where you just need that. You need to win that 1v1 gunfight to get your team the lead. And then you have Domtree, really strong anchor, really strong all-around player. Kradix, really strong slayer. So it's going to be really tough for Incantus to shut these guys down, but I would say they really need to focus on making sure that they're shutting down the two anchors, Domtree and Kradix, because if you allow them to go off, that's just not going to be a good thing.
It's going to be a disaster. I do want to have a shout out for Goddess and Prophet Onyx. Dr. Gritty is directly connected. He did get that cable, so everything going for Gritty. Maybe a bad play in the long run since he's having technical difficulties, but he is directly connected. Did not touch anything, so we're all good on that end. It seems like Noisy's getting things together too. Might have an issue with changing teams. I'm not sure. Checking my messages real quick. Yeah, I can't see teams. I think I want to back out. Go to Warzone. I think it's Warzone, right? Did you reset that?
No, I think you have to go. I think you have to go to Forge.
Forge.
I think that's what it is. That's the workaround.
How about
Excuse
now?
me?
Let's see. Yes, okay. So that fixed it.
Yep. Now we just need to jump back into
Observer.
our other lobby. Go to Observer. Let's see. Let me get over there. All right. Looks like we're ready to get this one rolling. So first map is going to be Cryptic King of the Hill. So Cryptic is a fantastic Forge map that we found. I think it's a map that's been in previous Halos. Is that right?
I believe so. Yes.
I don't remember what map it is for sure. But I do think it was in a previous Halo. So maybe some people might be familiar with it. But yeah, it is going to be King of the Hill, which should be fun. King of the Hill is always a really fun game type to watch. A lot goes down in those King of the Hills, so I'm excited to get this game started and get this series started here.
So early predictions, I think Gravity is going to come out strong, have an early lead. They're very comfortable on this map. They've played it quite a bit, so definitely they're going to prioritize that over shields. So tons of practice on this. I really hope that shows. Making sure no one lagged out. Everything's ready to go. I am on GT Reach to start this off from the Incantus squad. Noisy did pick up that beam rifle, and we'll get a couple points early on. And it seems like Overshield was burned.
Yep, and it looks like Gravity... there were a few points put on the board from Incantus there, but it looks like Gravity is going to take control of this area and start getting some points on the board here. So good job getting the slays they needed to, and then jumping into the pit right after getting that round of slays there. I always like to see that. I always talk about that. A lot of teams like over prioritize the objective, and I like what I'm seeing right now out of Gravity not doing that, making sure they're getting the slays first. And they're all great slayers, so definitely something that they do well, prioritizing those slays before they start working the objective.
I do want to say Incantus has been a very objective-oriented team throughout this Squad v Squad series. They do very well on strongholds. They do very well on capture the flag. So they're going to be a very fierce competitor in this King of the Hill game. So they're not out just yet. Still very early to tell. But kind of like I predicted, Gravity really getting that early lead, and it's showing right now. Right now, Incantus
for sure
needs to be putting pressure on that hill. I don't see as much pressure on it. They're kind of going for the slays, going for the kills, and I'm just not sure if that's the best move at this point.
Yeah, at this point, what I see Incantus doing is they're going for the slays too far away from the hill, and they're just allowing Gravity to just have this hill for free and get so much time on the board for free. Like when I say prioritize the slays, what I mean is like prioritizing the slays while you're also remaining objectively focused. But they're not doing that right now. They're getting the wrong type of slays, and that's another thing that I see out of some of these teams. But this is a good team, and I could easily see them coming back in this game. But Gravity's doing a phenomenal job right now, getting into these hills, getting the setup around the hills, getting the slays they need to get, and they're putting a lot of points on the board and making this a pretty significant lead so far.
Dr. Gritty doing a good job of staying alive, but unfortunately he did miss that jump, and that would cost him, because Domtree will have that overshield, sorry, and being in the hill, he is on a killing spree. He is feeling hot, his pistol is on, things are going, and I like this aggressiveness coming out of Gravity. We always knew they were an aggressive team, but getting that objective, getting the slays, they're really keeping up. Definitely having that extra week of practice, things going on. They're really starting off strong.
Yep, absolutely, and it's they've had some time to work together as a team. They've had some time to go over strategies now, and they're doing a really good job right now. If they are having the hill taken away from them, it's towards the end, and then you see Incantus just sitting in that hill a little bit too long and not prioritizing the next hill location. But it looks like a big triple, I think. Or, yeah, a big triple kill coming from Demonic French Toast off stream. He's going to end up getting his team control of this hill, and now they can get a nice little setup going in this little red room over here in the light room. So, good plays from Incantus to kind of turn this around, and they're starting to get some points on the board now, too, making this a closer game.
Most definitely, but here's the counter push out of Gravity to slay them all out of that room. All of them drop dead. And that kind of switched the gears. They were getting a good amount of that time in the hill. And now for this second half of that hill, it's going to all go to Gravity. With only 200 points to go and already hitting that halfway point, it's going to be tough for Incantus to make that comeback. They need to really start holding down these hills and prioritizing them and hold them for at least 30-40 seconds each hill spawn.
Absolutely. One of the things I wanted to highlight there is, Incantus actually had a really good setup in that red room up there, but unfortunately, the coordinated push and the offensive capability and the slaying prowess of this Gravity team just got the better of them. And Gravity did a really good job, made a really solid push from different parts of that room, different entrances of that room, and were able to get a nice push and some nice kills in order to regain control of that room for the last 20 or so seconds. But now Incantus is kind of doing the opposite thing.
Oh, that was a huge kill by Kradex.
Yep, that was a big kill by Kradex. They're going to stop that, and they're going to make sure Incantus here doesn't get too much time on the board from this hill. Incantus has been the winner of this hill so far, in my opinion, but Gravity's definitely doing a good job to minimize the damage that Incantus is getting on them. So, nice little cleanup kill there from Bamadude off stream. He's going to pick up the sniper, so I want to go over to Bamadude and see what he's going to do with this sniper rifle.
Right now with that sniper, he does hit that snipe. Only one person, only Grady in the hill. Doesn't have that much help. And we are going to see all four kind of push towards that. I like Bama not being in that room, trying to create space. I don't think he doesn't even have to engage there, and he did it. Oh, huge stick by Canadian too.
Yep. And I like that. I really did like that play from Bamadude because I wish he would kind of pull out of his pistol here. He is going to get saved by his teammate there. He's going to get that beat down. That's good. But I liked what he was doing there. He knew where the enemy team was coming from. He was very aware of that. And taking that position to make sure they couldn't push through that door was a really good move by Bamadude. So they've put a lot of time on the board with this hill, and they're only 30. They were only 30 points away from winning this game, and now they're gonna just immediately rotate over to this other room. They're gonna get taken out going through that door. Obviously, whoever that was sitting up there, looks like GT Reef sitting up there, obviously knew where they were gonna be coming from. Typically, when the hill switches, it's pretty easy to be able to.
Oh, Grady did not pick up the OS.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
It's gonna go to Bamadude.
Yeah, so Bamadude's gonna pick up that OS. So great grab from Bamadude for that OS, and that's gonna be and that's a big play, man. That was a big opportunity for Incantus to pick that up and get back into this game, but unfortunately that's not gonna be the case. But you do see a nice little battle, and Toast getting a nice double kill and getting into that hill and starting to put some points on the board for his team. But they are way behind, and they have to play really well for the rest of this game. Because Gravity has just done a really good job controlling this map, controlling these hill locations.
Right now, Gravity just needs to let this hill go, rotate, get the new one, hold it down, and it seems like that's what they're doing. They're already at the new hill.
And they know where these spawners are too. They're already nading the areas where these people are coming from. They ended up taking the lower route there, but they're aware of where everybody's at, and I really like the communication and the teamwork that I'm seeing out of Gravity this game. They're just doing a really good job. This is definitely this is a statement that you want to make going into this series. And they're definitely doing that, and they're going to come out on top on game 1 with a pretty convincing victory. I think that's probably the largest victory margin that we've seen in the Squad v Squad season so far, just at least on King the Hill.
Yeah, I would say so.
A big 200 to 123 win, and you see Kratos going off, and that's exactly what you want to see from the Gravity side. Kratos with a 20-9 game, also the most points in the hill as well, so just doing everything for his team that game, absolutely playing outstanding. And you're seeing, and they just took control of that game, that whole map, and it really was not difficult for them to come out with that win there.
No, not at all. Very strong game out of Kratex. Very strong game out of Damtree and Canadian Walrus. Very strong game out of Bamadude. I like the assist. I do want to point out, I point out a lot, but the assist difference between both teams is what's really making this different. You got 14 out of Damtree, 10 out of Canadian, 11 out of Kratex. You don't see anyone on the blue team and Incantus side hitting double digits at all.
Yeah, absolutely. The team shot was definitely there for Gravity, and you know that comes from positioning, and their positioning was very superior to Incantus in that game. So good job on Gravity, absolutely taking control of that map, getting pretty much every OS grab. I think if they didn't get all of them, I think they only missed maybe one OS grab that entire game. They were able to secure that, able to do a lot with that every time. You know, and they definitely came out on top on that game because they just played that much better. Obviously, I mean that's a given, but let's I want to break down the stats a little bit more here too. Let's start getting into the damage, because I know how much some people like looking at the damage, and you see this enormous amount of damage coming out of the Gravity team. Canadian Walrus was 66% accuracy, Kratos was 60% accuracy. And you're seeing 3 members above 2,500 damage, which is absolutely incredible. So it just shows that they're putting the shots down on everybody. They're shooting their guns. They're not afraid to shoot their guns, and they're where they need to be on the map. And that's ultimately what's going to win games.
Now we are going to be moving into a CTF on Magic, and I gotta say this is one of the Incantus stronger game types, stronger maps. I don't think they don't really lose too much on this map. They've done very well keeping the flag alive and going to the other base, so very strong showing. Definitely,
they haven't done a really good job in the past on this map, but at the same time, Gravity is looking really, really good tonight. In that first game, their team shot is on point. They're in the positions they need to be in, and if they do that again on this map, even though Incantus is really, really, really good at this map and they perform really well on this map, it's going to be tough for them with a Gravity team that is performing so well.
Most definitely going to start off with Dr. Gritty. He's going to instantly use the portal, try to get behind this Gravity squad. I do like that play. I like that start. It does seem like all 4 members of Gravity will go down early on.
Yep. So a nice little slaying round and a good kill sweep for Incantus there. And Dr. Grady's also going to stay alive here, so he's going to put some shots down through that cage. So good knowledge of the map there, knowing that he could shoot through that cage. I always appreciate seeing that from people who do that. But yeah, so far Incantus is playing this really well. They did get a flagpole. Gravity was able to stop that from getting anywhere too crazy. But they are outslaying right now by quite a bit right now. Gravity's kind of just on the back foot right now, but hopefully they can get a little bit of footing.
That pressure done by both Toast, even Grady staying alive over there. There are already 2 pulls up in like the first minute. This has been great, but we are going to be on board with Domtree, who did pick up the railgun trying to get this flag stop. And we are going to see a pull on the other side for Gravity.
Yeah, but that pull is going to be stopped, but that's not a bad pull, getting it to the other side. Their team's very aware of that, and there's going to be a nice little, somewhat of a bait and switch there. But Dr. Grady's going to come in and make sure that those 2 players get cleaned up. So
will Toast get this touch? He's not going to take the shortcut up. That lift might just be a little bit short.
Yep, that is unfortunate. I think they had a really big opportunity to get that flag into their base, and it's really unfortunate that they weren't able to get that. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite them, but it might. But it looks like they're going to get another flag run going here. Unfortunately, another member is going to come out of that portal onto Demonic French Toast and clean him up. But now we're over on Kradix here. So Kradix doing a good job sitting up in this top area. I like seeing that.
He's going to get the camo.
And he's going to secure the camo as well. He's going to watch Toast go through that portal. He knows where Toast is at now. He knows how this portal system works, and he's going to go over there and shut down Noisy Boy. They're going to shut down Toast, and they're going to shut down this flag run for Incantus as well.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
I'm obviously not paying attention.
Hey, they are. Now they got their own. They collapsed. Gravity collapsed very well onto that flag carrier. I don't know why they kind of snuck around and did that. No one in position for Incantus. They are putting priority on getting that flag stop.
Yeah, and Kradix doing a really good job getting these players down, using that camo effectively there. Unfortunately, he's not going to be fast enough on that kill, and they are going to get a touch to keep this alive on this time return. So that is a little unfortunate, but Kradix is in a good spot right now to challenge this, and they should be able to get a return here.
They would, and the first point goes to Gravity.
Yeah. So it looks like they had a little bit of a turnaround. They got their footing, stopped getting slayed out a little bit, and now they put the first flag cap on the board. And that's unfortunate because Incantus had a huge opportunity at the beginning of the game to put a flag on the board, and they were doing so well at the beginning of the game getting their slays, but unfortunately they just didn't capitalize on those slays.
Bamadou doing a great job staying alive right there. I'm surprised he stayed alive. Just get that flag through the portal. I thought he for sure was going to die. Canadian Walrus also, as we've seen in the past, kind of controlling that portal.
Yep, and he's also going to come right back through the portal after he escapes to keep himself alive, and he's going to get that touch as well. So big plays from Canadian Walrus. Always a pleasure to watch him using that portal system. He does a really good job of it. Probably better than anyone else, I would say.
Noisy just kind of staying back in his base. Wow, I'm surprised that railgun did not.
Yeah, I am also surprised that railgun didn't hit him. It looked like it was a dead-on shot. Unfortunately, that railgun is not going to clean him up. But Domtree's just going to sit here for free in their base right now with the railgun, and he's probably going to end up securing this for his team. And that, yeah, and he is.
Be two.
Yep, and that's going to be 2 flag caps on the board for Gravity here. Incantus is starting to push into the base though. Noisy narrowly avoids the grenade getting up into the base.
I'm wondering if Incantus is overcommitting on a lot of these things, on these pulls, on these getting the touch. They're just kind of overcommitting, pushing, going a little bit more than what they need to. and now they kind of breaking apart here. Not as coordinated as we saw in the beginning, or maybe it's just the slaying power of Gravity. They got their footing in this map. They're on the bases. They're pushing as a team. This is pretty great to say on both sides.
Yep, and now you're seeing a really big slaying swing on the Gravity side right now. They're definitely outslaying now. But Dr. Grady using that portal system as well, and he knows how that portal system works and turns around and is able to put a shot on Canadian Walrus coming through that portal. But right now, I'm seeing a lot of the Incantus members on the bottom part of this map, and I don't like to see that on this map. I don't think that's the right place to be, and that's why they're getting outslayed right now. You just see Gravity working the top part of this map, like just in a much more efficient way than Incantus.
Huge double kill out of Geometry to stop that push from Toast. And 4 dead now for Incantus. 1 just spawned, and they're out in the respawn, but...
Yep, and Bama's gonna go do what Bama does, and he's gonna go get this flagpole for his team over here.
I really like Bama playing the objective for Gravity. I don't see... it's great to see him doing that.
Yeah, and he's gonna take the ballsy top mid to the front of his base route because he knows his team's slaying right now. He got the call that his team's slaying and that he's totally fine. He's good to go, and he's gonna grab that, and he's gonna come over here and get the burn on the camo, which is a good thing. You don't want the enemy team getting that camo and have an opportunity to get back into the game. So really solid plays. Like I said before this match started. Bam is that guy who just does all the dirty work, and that's exactly what he's doing right now.
He's definitely being the Undertaker of this match, doing all the sneaky stuff for Gravity. But I don't want to count Incantus out before. This is capture the flag. As long as you get some control, get these side bases, it could be very easy, especially with the portal, to get that flag on the other side. But they definitely need to get their composure back, take it slow, start making these stronger pushes. Because they're definitely getting outslayed at this point.
Absolutely, and it all, like we talk about this all the time. It comes down to them controlling the right parts of the maps, and they're just getting these slays because they're doing that.
They're letting Gravity come into their base, and Gravity is not cleaning up. You see a lot of times where they get them one shot, and either Gravity gets away or they lose the gunfight. And that's really biting them right now. They need the communication. They need to call out these one shots and get more of this Gravity team members down.
And a triple kill from Kradix off stream.
I
was able to catch that on my side. Kradix is going to get a triple, and he's going to come get some shots on a 4th person as well, and that person's going to get cleaned up. So now they're pushing these guys into the green spawns. They should have somebody. It looks like Bama was able to get a nice little pull over there. They're not going to be able to get too far with it unless Canadian Walrus can somehow sneak away, which he is known for, but he does get taken down there, unfortunately. But this flag is still at the 50-yard line essentially for this Gravity team, so they could easily grab this and continue running it. But it looks like they're going to elect to just defend their base for the moment and play it safe.
I do like this defense done, but they are going to not see that one player underneath to go through, so this could be the first flag pull out of, or first flag cap for this Incantus squad. It seems like.
Yep, and it looks like that's going to be a flag cap for Incantus. So good job on Incantus getting a flag cap in this game, not giving up after the first couple of flag caps, making sure they're still playing their heart out. There is a lot of time left in this game. It could easily swing and go into Incantus' favor. So Gravity needs to start making sure that they're going back to what they've been doing, making sure they're getting those slays, because right now Incantus is starting to push back a little bit with the slaying as well. They're still significantly down on the slays, but they are improving quite a bit.
Most definitely, and another flag pull out of this Gravity squad. Unfortunately, they won't get too far with it, but like the aggressiveness on it, keeping Incantus on their toes, not allowing them free reign on this map. We do see Dr. Grady do something sneaky, get behind the whole team. He's going to start running this flag. I'm not sure why he took it down there. I think he forgot the door was closed.
Yep, I definitely think he forgot the door was closed. They have been on the side of this map quite a bit with how Gravity's controlling it. So I think that he's, gone down into some of those stairways on the side of the map and noticed that there's no door and maybe forgot. But that is a little bit unfortunate, and Gravity is going to get a couple slays off that as well, and they're going to
be 3 down for them. And they are going to have to fight out of this green base. If Gravity can slay them right now, that would be another cap, and it looks like it's going to be.
And it looks like we have Bamadude once again running the flag. It looks like he's going to get this one in for his team as well, and that's going to be a 4th flag. So really good plays, really good communication, knowing that they're shutting him down, they're keeping him onto a side base, they're holding him there, and they're able to get a bunch of slays from that, and then ultimately a flag cap as well.
I like how Domtree's still trying to put support of fire for his teammate as he sees them on the other side. He does know his team is at yellow, just staying alive, not making any crazy pulls, not putting himself out there. He is going to get a railgun. Oh, this could be it. This could be the last flag.
Yeah, if they get a couple more slays, but no, there is someone that gets behind them and is able to get a flagpole, but I don't think that's going to get very far right now. And all Gravity needs to do at this time is take good positioning, get the slays they need to get, but that's not what happened, And Incantus is pushing out from the screen base, and they're making a good run for it. They were able to get a touch, and they were able to stay alive and get a couple slays as well. So they kind of turned that around a little bit on the Gravity team. So good on them. Good making those plays, not giving up, giving them a fight.
I just like how all of Gravity just comes back to the base, pushes on Dr. Grady, and then they just kind of branch out, go their separate ways, trying to get as much map presence on each of the side bases as possible.
Yep, but now they do see where this flag's at on the side of the map, at the green side of the map. So now you're going to see Bamadude pushing in by himself. I don't know about that play. Oh, he did have a team member behind him. But it looks like Demonic French Toast and GT Reaps working together are going to be able to take those 2 out, and they're going to be up 2 for the moment, and they're going to have numbers for the moment.
And it's going to be a small little standoff for this, but it seems like they're taking it slowly across green over to their base, and ooh.
And Dr. Grady is just going to unfortunately poke out at the exact time that he let go of that railgun. So kind of unfortunate there that happened.
But this is going to be the second cap for them. Ooh, Grady went down the stairs. It doesn't seem like he can get up. He's having issues putting it in. That little bit of time could really cost him, because now Gravity is just swarming the base with 3 dead, 4 dead. Gravity.
Oh, and Dr. Grady is going to spawn off the map there, so that's a little bit unfortunate. It does sometimes happen on this map, unfortunately. We've tried to work with that, but he's going to be taken out of the game for a little bit here, so a little bit unfortunate, but it happens on both sides.
Enemy team score. Game over. Defeat.
So yeah, a great game coming out of Gravity there. It's a little bit unfortunate what happened out of the end, but I don't think it really mattered that much. Gravity putting the slays up on the board, absolutely doing a great job doing that. Domtree with 37 kills, only 16 deaths. You have Kradix with 32 kills, 16 deaths, 31 kills. So you have 3 players on the Gravity team that are above 30 kills. And then Bamadude doing the dirty work as always, getting the 18 assists, getting the 13 kills as well, but also putting 3 flags on the board for his team. So with 6 flag grabs as well. So he's consistently getting behind the enemy team, getting those flag pulls, doing a good job.
Again, I love the assists. I always point them out when I see them. 18 assists for 2 people, 17, 16. You see the higher assist numbers on the Incantus squad. Dr. Grady was just a little bit lacking in the assist category, but that's okay. I love seeing the team shot going on from both teams, the perfect kills going on, everything. All high numbers. Bama fell a little short, but almost everyone in the 3,000 range. We have Domtree pushing 5,000 damage, Kratex putting 4,000 damage. There were shots going on just consistently throughout this whole match.
Yeah, and look at these KDAs. Double-digit KDAs for 3 of the 4 members of the Gravity team. They're just looking absolutely unstoppable right now, just in the slaying department, playing the objective. They're just absolutely coming together as a team. And it's good to see because they were struggling for a while, but they had a really good series last week. They're having a great series right now. And you know, if Incantus doesn't answer back in this next game, they are going to lose the series. This is the final game of the series. If Gravity is able to come out on top here, they are going to take the series. And the way that they've been playing, man, Incantus just absolutely has the work cut out for him.
They definitely do. It is tough, but we have saw sweeps before. Definitely even 2-0 sweeps. So anything could happen in this second half of our best of 5 series, or best of 3.
Yep, for sure. I mean, you do have a really strong team with Demonic French Toast, Dr. Grady, both of them very good players. GT Reaps is a pretty solid fire player. Noise Boy is obviously a solid fire player. We all know about him. So they just need to come together. They just need to get their communication down, and I feel like that's what they struggled with last week, and it's what they're struggling with a little bit this week as well. It just looks like their communication is lacking a little bit. They're not where they need to be. Dr. Grady and Demonic French Toast are working pretty well together, but the Fires kind of need to get in there and start responding to those call-outs, start calling things out, you know, taking control, making informative call-outs as well, not just one-shot call-outs. And it kind of seems... And getting into the right positioning, because so far this series, Gravity has just completely outclassed Incantus as far as positioning.
I definitely agree. This is very shocking to see. You want to talk a little bit about our stronghold settings, Savvy?
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about that at the beginning of this game. So in our stronghold settings, you do start getting points after only 1 capture. So as soon as you start getting a capture, you are going to get a point every like 3 seconds, I think is what it is. And then also on top of that, when you go to cap a base, if you go by yourself, the base is going to cap very slowly, as you can see over here with Kradix in this blue bend area. He is going to get the cap, but it went very slowly. If you have 2 members going for the cap, it's going to go much faster, and 3 or 4 members is going to be pretty much instant. The other difference is that it plays to 200 instead of only 100. But other than that, it's about the same. You still got to get the slays. You still you want to control 2 bases to make sure you're getting the most points on the board that you possibly can at any given time. But that's about it.
It's going to really come down to the map rotations for these 2 teams and how well they do. Both teams right now... Oh, that's a good spawn for Grady there. But both teams pretty much even starting off on this, going back and forth, trading strongholds here and there. Right now, definitely you want to hold down at least 2.
Yep, definitely, and I like that switch they made. They're going to start pushing over here into this red nest area. Unfortunately, Canadian is going to get taken down there. I think he moved a little bit too quick. The rest of his team, moved a little bit slow, but not a big deal. They're still able to hold 2 bases. They made a nice little rotation there, and they're still going to be up. They're going to still be on top right now with a 5-point lead so far.
Definitely holding Catwalk is going to be one of the keys to this game. Definitely something both teams is wanting to do. Nest, I feel, is one of the weaker strongholds. Blue Bend is pretty good. You get a nice bird's eye view from it, from Catwalk. But sometimes that Nest is easier to kind of secure and hold down just because you have a lot more coverage over it.
Absolutely. Let's move over to Canadian Walrus. He has the OS right now, and he had 2 rockets. Unfortunately, wasn't able to do anything with the rockets, but he does push in. He does push into this blue bend base, but now for a moment there, Incantus had a triple cap. So now I'd like to see Canadian Walrus push up with the remainder of this OS up into the catwalk area and start battling for this catwalk area.
And that's exactly what he's doing.
What he's going to do. He's going to pick up 1 kill, and he's going to hang, get back up onto the catwalk, put some damage in, and that's really all he needed to do in that scenario with that OS. Unfortunately, it looks like Incantus is going to be over there grabbing that nest. And they should turn it here, and they do, but at the cost of 1 life so far, and I think there's going to be another kill that goes into the hands of Gravity as well up there. So now Gravity's going to come in, grab the space real quick. Canadian's going to survive,
a little
which is
late
exactly
on
what
that to stop that.
And that's exactly what they needed to do there. And now they're going to continue holding this 2-cap lead at the moment. They're not, but this is still a close game. Incantus is not that far behind. They're less than 20 points behind still. So this is really still anybody's game here. But it looks like Gravity's starting to heat up as far as slaying goes. I've seen a lot more slays coming out of Gravity recently in the last 20 seconds, or in the last like couple minutes or so. And now they're going to have a trip cap from it as well. That is only going to last a moment, but a trip cap nonetheless.
A trip cap is very devastating for these teams because they will be getting 3 points out of it. So it does make a huge difference. I do want to say kudos to the Incantus squad shutting down that trip cap. They're definitely not giving up. They have a lot of heart. They can come back. We don't see too big of a lead. This is something easily can go. Once Gravity or either team hits that 100-point mark, it's going to get even more difficult to come back. Canadian Walrus with that camo pickup.
Yep. You see him get that camo pickup, but he was seen, but he's gonna wrap around, stay alive, which is exactly what he needed to do, and he's gonna come back and help his team get the kills. And now, right now, you see Gravity. They have both the camo and the OS at the moment, so this is a chance for them to make some really big plays. But it looks like Canadian Walrus is gonna get spotted there, and he is gonna get taken out. Not a big deal. His team was able to push into that stronghold and cap it. Hopefully they can live, but they are going to maintain this lead for the moment.
There's a good push out of the Incantus squad. They're doing really well on the rotations. They're just losing, I feel, a little bit on the slays. There's 3 dead right now. Grady's trying to capture this blue brand by himself. Trip cap in effect.
And he's about to get pushed by this entire team. But I think they're going to leave that blue bend alone, and they're going to start looking at Catwalk. But it's a good play there, noticing that Gravity had all 4 of their members inside or around the red nest stronghold, and they just said, you know what, well, I'll finish capping this blue bend, and then let's go get the top Catwalk as well, since they're all sitting in one spot. So good job from them. Playing the objective really well there. Unfortunately, in the end, it's not going to really work out for them, but that's the best play they could have possibly made in that scenario.
It was a good play. Having another rotation. I really like how fast the Gravity team is really getting these to these strongholds. I do kudos to Incantus to responding to these strip caps really fast, giving up the strongholds, going to the next one that they can get, and not letting a trip cap go in full effect. But eventually, huge double kill out of French Toast right there. But still putting a lot of pressure. They're going to slowly get all the points kind of beat out of them unless they kind of get holding down 2 strongholds. They're making good pushes. They're just really slow and not getting the slays to make effective pushes. Just a lot of the Gravity team is kind of following up, finishing off those one-shots, making those plays, making the rotations. Like as soon as they're going to get a Catwalk, they're already going to lose Red Nest. Not sure why more people from Gravity didn't help whoever's up there on Nest, but doesn't really doesn't matter because they're just ever so slow getting there. There was a 1 split second. If Toast took a different way, he could have got there, and they're already taking Catwalk back to him.
Yep, absolutely. That was a great. I was on mute for a little bit. That's why I like.
No, I picked up on that. I'll keep on talking.
But what I was gonna say is that split was nice because they did have power-ups and they felt like they could handle doing that split, and they were able to get 2 bases at the same time off of that. So a little bit of a risky play, but the way they're playing right now, I feel like they can afford the risk.
Most definitely. They don't want to do too much to give up. They don't want to do a trip cap. As long as they're holding down at least 1 stronghold, I think they'll be doing pretty well. Just another couple of seconds with this double cap, and as long as they hold the single cap, I think they would be good.
Yep, absolutely. And you see Bamadude again this game, putting in work, moving around, getting into those strongholds. He's always first into those strongholds. He's getting in there. He's getting taken out a little bit though, but he's definitely putting the damage onto people, letting the rest of his team clean it up. But I would like to, one of the things I would really like to see Bamadude is continue doing the dirty work that he does, but learn how to get into the more advantageous positions, because I see him kind of pushing in a lot, and kind of just giving up free deaths, which isn't bad the way the rest of Gravity's playing, but if he could learn that kind of stuff, I think Gravity would be absolutely unstoppable.
I definitely agree. And we are going to see a overshield pickup on the Incantus side. I feel it's just a little bit too late to really kind of control that. GT Reaps has these rockets, but I don't see him really doing too much with it. He needs to really stop this catwalk. I'm sure his team has to be calling out they're all at cat to start making something happen, but it took a while to get there.
Yep, Bamadu's gonna go sacrifice himself there. He is gonna get 1 kill. He's gonna delay that catwalk cap for a little bit. It's not that big of a deal at this point. Incantus has to hold a trip cap for pretty much the remainder of this game, because now Gravity can literally just let him have bases, and as long as they have 1 base, they're going to be getting enough points to win this game. So a comeback from Incantus at this point is going to be really difficult.
They do get that trip cap that what they needed, but they will get catwalk. Oh man, this looks like they're putting it in the bag right now.
Yep, and it looks like Gravity is just going to go in for the kill. They're going to start getting this red nest there, or maybe they elected to go blue bend instead, it looks like. But Incantus is up in this catwalk area. I don't think it's going to matter much at this point.
No.
Bamadude coming in, getting a nice flank on them, and that's going to be game.
Rocket launchers on the field. Captured catwalk.
Congratulations to Team Gravity on their victory this week. Gotta say,
yep. Absolutely good job. They played really well as a team. They slayed well. They played objectively really well. They did everything really, really well. And something that Dark Templar pointed out in chat is Incantus was way too spread out, and that's exactly right. They were spread out. They were in the wrong positions. Gravity wasn't spread out. They were moving around as a team. They were in good positions, and that was the name of the game on every single map. Gravity just doing a phenomenal job of keeping map control on every single map.
do want to go through the kills again. Canadian Walrus leading the team, 24 kills, doing a great job. He had a phenomenal game, phenomenal series. He's on fire, for lack of better terms.
Yep, he's been definitely playing really well lately. A high amount of kills, low deaths usually. Even in our charity tournament yesterday, he was putting up some big numbers, basically carrying his team to the victory in the charity tournament yesterday. But he's also performing really well the last couple of weeks, or especially this week in our Squad v Squad games as well. So great performances from him. I like seeing that from him. Domtree doing really well, but this Gravity team has a lot of really strong players.
They started off very slow in the series, definitely have picked up, definitely have done really well. Congratulations to the Gravity team, and we'll tune in next week for week 9 of Squad v Squads. Thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I know it was a short one, guys, but we always appreciate everyone getting in the chat, hyping everything up, and watching us. So